A lot of people are looking to open up their pizzeria in 2025, and if that person is tuning in today, they're in for a treat because I have Dane, who just opened Slowco Pizza.
Yeah.
How long has this dream of yours been like happening in your mind?
Yeah, I would say it's been stewing in there for like probably 13 or 14 years.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I've been cooking in restaurants for 20 and then got kind of hooked on pizza about 13 years ago.
13 years.
And just been trying to be like laser focused on that. And you know how it is, you get obsessed with it. And yeah, worked at some different spots and kind of always dreamed about doing my own thing.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it finally lined up. And we're in your space right now. It is beautiful. I know one of the things about opening up a restaurant is that we have all these expectations, right? It's going to take this much time. It's going to be like, we're hoping that it's going as smooth as possible. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. And I kind of want to showcase your oven real quickly because I remember a exchange between you and I a year or so ago. We're locking in on a space real quick. Do you have a contact for XYZ person? Because I'm thinking about installing a PizzaMaster. Do you remember that?
Of course, yeah.
This is not a PizzaMaster.
Definitely not.
What happened there?
Yeah, so that was the goal. I always thought, like when we were looking at this space, PizzaMaster would fit really nicely under there.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at like a 733 or something like that, the smaller footprint one. And throughout that learning process of what really is needed to have a PizzaMaster, looked at our electrical. In order to upgrade our electrical, we would have had to trench out to the street, get PG&E involved. It was going to be like $60,000 just for the electrical.
I hate those three letters.
Yeah. PG&E.
It's terrible.
Well, and honestly, like I knew there were other options, and then we were looking at gas versions. I think Mari Forni has a cool deck oven. Again, I don't know. All of my experience is like wood-fired pizza, so I was really familiar with kind of the dome setup like that. And I'd seen these ovens. There's a pizzeria in Seattle that uses one of them, and the wood version, you can see these all around, like Roberta's and stuff has the wood version of this. And I knew that like you can cook similar style with more control with this type of oven. And I really liked that because wood-fired is great, but I like to bake it out a little bit more. And training purposes, you don't have wood, you don't have all that soot, you don't have all these things. So these guys too, they come in, it's modular, they bring it through the front door.
Nice.
They get it all set up, they build it right here in place, and then they're out of here in like 5 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, and a lot of these like kit ovens or pre-assembled ovens like this, they'll like cut out an opening in your wall to like forklift it in. Mm-hmm. And we were stoked to not have to do that.
I've heard horror stories of like a brand new electric oven coming in and then they find out like it's way too small to get it in there, so they have to disassemble it.
Sure.
And that just, to me, sucks, right? You're just like, please don't break anything, please don't lose any part. Yeah. It's just another wrench in like this like everlasting like list of challenges that like people have to go through.
Yeah, and all the challenges cost money too.
100%.
And it's crazy. You forecast for a lot of that stuff, but like you don't really know until you're in it. And it's every little thing is like nickel and dimed.
What are the other things about building out a pizzeria that people tuning in should be considering?
The biggest thing that I learned really is just do your due diligence with your contractors, your architects, all that kind of stuff. We, in California, or at least in Sonoma County, have to have a kitchen designer draw out the kitchen, and it's all to code, and they submit it to the health department and all that stuff. I got a referral from him for the contractor. Guy started out great, super communicative, chatted with me, picked up my phone calls, this, that, the other, kind of got me on the hook.
Right.
I was like, all right, tight, this is easy. Yeah. And then kind of once we like signed on the dotted line, the communication kind of went downhill. And yeah, it's just when you can't communicate, obviously, like things get pushed back, timeline gets pushed back. So I would have shopped for like 2 or 3 and like really just got bids. And I didn't really do that for this project. I just kind of went with the first guy that was recommended and just rolled the dice.
Tell us a little bit about what the space was before and what you had to do in order to get it ready for pizza making. Can we go and do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Where are we at right now, essentially?
Where are we at? We are kind of outside on the old patio.
Okay.
And they actually had an old walk-in out here that was unpermitted, and the city made them rip it down.
Oh.
So this is actually kind of where they had their walk-in.
So wait, they had a walk-in and they had them rip it down like before they sold it to you?
Yeah. Like 6 or 8 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what shut them out, and they're like, I'm getting out of the food business.
They have some taco trucks and stuff, so they're still in it, but they're getting out of the brick and mortar business.
Okay, so
Yeah.
building a walk-in to a pizzeria or to an existing restaurant, I imagine, is not easy.
It's not, but it's not that hard either.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
You have to, with your architect, that was our biggest thing, was to have him draw it out, and the city had to approve it. And a big thing for the city to approve it was it had to be visually appealing to them, because this is downtown and they care like how the building looks, and that's what the previous owner didn't do. He just threw a walk-in out here, didn't paint it, didn't cover it, didn't do anything. So they red flagged him, and but as long as it's in the architecture plans and it gets that stamp of approval, you're good.
How long did that process take?
Kind of going back to the contractor and the timeline and everything, they subcontract out framers. That took 2 days to frame it in. And then we got the walk-in, and we built the walk-in in place, which took another couple days. And then when that was set, we framed in the whole outside of everything, which was like a day. So that's what, like 4 or 5 days? That took like 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh no!
Because of the timing and the communication and that whole thing of, well, they're working another project and then they'll be here next week.
Those dang contractors, man. I've experienced that myself too, in like certain areas of my life where it's just like, I'm not the priority. Clearly I didn't negotiate my terms well, but like, I don't know, what do we have to do, or what do people listening or watching have to do to be like, I'm special, prioritize my project? Is it just writing out, get it done in like 5 weeks?
Honestly, I think part of it is you gotta like reach deep down and pull out your asshole self and be a fucking asshole. Because I'm a nice guy, and I played it the nice guy way the whole time, and I felt like a little bit taken advantage of in certain situations. Not like financially, but like time-wise.
Well, time is money.
Totally.
Right? And I imagine you're paying rent for a space, or you only have so much free rent, and then you got to pay for all of that. Plus, like, you want to open.
Yeah,
you want to start
sure.
selling pizzas. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm glad it's all completed. Let's go ahead and do a quick tour of the restaurant and see what else is going on, and then make some pizzas.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Pizza makers, if you're looking for a premium pizza cheese, Baccio cheese is the game changer you need. With a kiss of buffalo milk, Baccio delivers unbeatable melt and stretch for your perfect pizza every time. Plus, with a Baccio Gold Club Rewards program, you earn cash back for every pound of cheese you buy, up to 18 cents per pound. So the more cheese you use, the more you earn. To request a sample, use the link in the show notes and make sure you tell them What's Good Dough sent you.
Clearly, we want to open up a pizzeria because we want to make pizza. And even through all of the challenges of build-outs, contractors, time delays, I think one of the most rewarding parts is finally making pizza and giving it to the people and having that interaction.
It's really exciting to watch people eat your food and watch them enjoy it.
Yeah, we're weird like that, right? I don't think most people, I think people who like to cook, or we have that same like tendency. It's like, yeah, I want to see you eat my food. I want to see you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, let's talk about the pizza.
All right.
Can we showcase this dough right here?
Yeah. So this is, it's about 70% hydration, and the flour we're using is Central Milling 00 normal for 70% of it, and then the other 30 is Karen Springs Trailblazer, which is like a Type 85.
Yeah, that's why you see some of these little specks here.
And then there's about 15% sourdough starter in here,
Okay.
which we feed like whole grain.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is that Trailblazer. I like it because it has some grit to it.
Okay.
So it kind of like, comes off the peel pretty good.
Okay.
Just build out the crust a little bit.
Nice.
This kind of helps get all that extra flour off.
Yeah. It smells so good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of fermentation on it.
Yeah.
With kind of those higher quality flours too, you can kind of smell it.
Right. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Salt content on that?
3%.
3? Love it. Yeah.
2%, your homies there, Truly.
Shout out Truly. And then like, I really, really, really love 3% salt. My doctor hates it, but I feel like it brings out the flavor in the dough so much.
I went up to 3.5 just before we were open, playing around with different stuff, and I don't know, we just like the 3%. It just kind of works great with the dough.
Yeah.
And then you can eat that dough and the crust on its own.
And what did you just sprinkle on there?
This is just some Grande Parm.
Okay.
We kind of do that on a lot of our bases.
Gotcha.
And then this is Calabrian chilies.
Woo.
They got some nice heat to it, nice flavor.
Yeah.
We make a hot
Acid too, right?
Yeah, and we make a hot sauce with it too.
Oh. Does that go on the pizza?
It doesn't go on the pizza, but you can order it on the side.
Gotcha.
So we do we call it a chili vinegar, and then we have a slow sauce, which is our house ranch.
You know I'm about that slow sauce house ranch, yo.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with some of those.
Perfect.
And then these are Zoe's pepperoni. They're from Petaluma.
Fan.
Yeah, everything. They're the little cup and chars.
Yeah, and that kind of goes with the concept, right? Of like trying to source as locally as possible.
Yes. So all our produce is local from local farms. The flour is local-ish. The Central Milling,
yeah.
They're down the road.
Yeah.
But they don't mill it there or anything.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And then I noticed everything's going on top. Will you put cheese on top, like mozzarella?
Yeah. So we use a fresh mozzarella on this one.
Oh, okay.
Some pies, these are Castelvetrano olives.
Those are good.
Yeah, super good. Yeah, then I hit it with some fresh mozz. This is from Valley Ford Creamery, down the road as well.
You said some pies you hit it with the fresh mozz, others you hit it with some of the dry stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
Just
others
depends on the pie.
we do both, and we have another local cheese that we use there on a lot of them.
What I like is like for a 10-inch pie, 230 grams, like this is gonna bake, and you're doing it on a slower bake, so you can take your time and it should firm up, I'm guessing, a lot, right? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Even with a higher hydration dough too.
For sure.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm just gonna grab this. When we first opened, we didn't have little holders for all this stuff. We're just like, what do we do?
So underrated,
And we
man.
just, got some stuff from Lowe's.
I like it. Yeah. Oh man, like butter.
Yeah, and then I like to just kind of tap them out a little bit,
Yeah.
so we don't get too much flour in there.
Okay. I noticed you didn't even like try to fix the edges or anything. It's just like artisan as hell.
Artisan, yeah.
Yeah.
The term is interesting term, artisan, but it's like it's hard to describe. Like when people ask, "Oh, what kind of style are you doing?" I lean towards that artisan, but like even just saying it is almost a little cringy for me.
A little bit. It's one of those words that were highly overused and then like kind of murdered and butchered a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Everything's artisan, and then you look at it and you're like, dude, that's chain pizza.
Yeah. Well, one of your interviews you had a while back with Gracie's Pizza, he said we're consistently inconsistent but it's consistently delicious.
Oh,
And we kind of live by that.
I love that.
So they're not going to look the same.
Craig's a good guy.
There's going to be char. There's going to be char in different places, but it's always, if we're doing our job right, going to be good.
How hot is this oven and how long is the bake?
Yeah, oven right now is at 615. That's what it's set for.
Sure.
It's probably more like 7.
Okay.
This reads the deck temp. So the
Oh,
deck's
deck
more like 615 to 650.
Okay.
And then the ambient is hotter than that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we just kind of like bake it in there. I'll move it around a little bit because we're just kind of doing one at a time. It's a little different than if we're in service.
Right. You got some hotter spots?
Hotter spots, just want to, I can play with the flame height too to
Okay.
kind of get more of the like fermentation bubbles out.
Would you say ballpark estimate like a 2 to 3 minute bake?
I would say more like a 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be. That's my preference.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
With still some of that like wood-fired look to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So it's really puffing up there. Around halfway through, would you give it a turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a turn here in a second because I want to get some color on the other side
Okay,
too.
cool. You said you made this on what day?
Saturday.
Saturday. So we're at about 48 hours.
Yeah.
Is that your sweet
That's
spot?
kind of the sweet spot.
Okay.
It can go up to 72 and still be delicious. But like as far as performance goes, like I like doing the mix, bulk fermentation for 24 hours, ball it, another fermentation for another 24 hours.
How many pizzas can you fit in there comfortably?
So like I go 3 up front, maybe 4 if we don't have a small plate in there, and then rotate that all around and get another 3 up front.
So you're using this also to cook some small plates.
Yep, and those are our little dishes there. So we'll just like fire off vegetables in there and then finish them off over
Love
there.
it. Love it. Throws a little wrench into the plans. It's not just a pizza oven, so it takes up some space, but it
adds value.
100%.
Yeah.
It like that kiss of fire, and then like you see it hot, and it just adds this like extra little like beautiful thing aspect to the dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we're doing simple stuff here. We're just using this like you would a wood-fired oven, getting some char on our vegetables and whatever's going in there, and then finishing it off with sauces and garnishes over there.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we're looking for.
Ooh.
And I let that screen for 30 seconds.
Just to let some of the air dissipate.
Yeah, if you put it in the box or put it on the plate right away, all that steam goes down and it sogs the base. You just leave it there for 20 seconds, all that steam comes up and it prolongs your... So we have a stack here, we come here. Again, we were limited with space and flow, so we had to really think about how we wanted things to work. So we stack them here as they're cooling. We're cutting over here. And then we slide it here. And then if I were working service, my job's pretty much done over here. And then someone who's working over here grabs the pizzas. There's pretty much garnishes and finishing moves to all of them.
I can already tell this is going to be super flavorful. I mean, you just use toppings and combinations that are just not what you find at your typical pizzeria.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have fun with it. And we have just a plain pepperoni, if that's what you're after.
Sure. And then what did you finish on there? Green
Just
onions?
some scallions, yeah, green onions.
Woo! So if you don't use green onions, what are we doing?
We'll probably throw some parsley on there, just to kind of cut some of that, add a little freshness to it. There's a lot of heavy things going on there.
Yeah, I like the freshness play.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
You want to try it?
We have to try it together.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Holds up pretty good.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Oh, that crunch.
That's bomb. We just put this on the menu.
I love green olives. And I love that honey. I've been, I just went to Pizzeria Delora,
Yeah.
and she does a garlic fermented honey. And it's just like, I love Mike's. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's a good workhorse honey. You don't have to get complicated. especially if you can't source your own honey or you just don't have the time, whatever, they can do it in volumes. But like when you take the time to make your own product like this, and it shines, it's like, holy shit, it takes your pizza to the next level.
I feel like it's just a balancing act. There's some spicy stuff going on. That sweetness kind of helps add another layer of flavor.
And the scallions add that funk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a nice little texture too. And then yeah, that little extra time in the oven, that bake out,
Yeah.
it's really what I like.
That crust is delicious, and like you're not afraid to go dark on it, but it's not like to a point where it's inedible.
Right, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Some people like will go too hard, and then it's just like dry, crackly, ashy even. Like this is just a good, beautiful char that's tasty, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, great shit. Okay, so that was a delicious pizza. What are you gonna make for us next?
I think I'll do one that's more vegetable focused. We call it living on the veg. And right now it has pun heavy here.
Yeah, I like
Delicata squash, radicchio, it's a white base. And then we'll finish it with some garnishes.
And is that like a rotating seasonal pie that you do?
Yeah, it's just whatever we can get our hands on.
Tight. Cool, let's build it.
All right. I think maybe we'll do two. We'll do that, and we'll do the Hogwarts Express.
Love it.
Which is our sausage pizza.
Sausage Hogwarts.
That's it. And that one is fennel sausage that we make in-house. We do shaved fennel on that one as well. Shallots, fresh mozzarella. It's delicious.
Okay, so as you're stretching and building out these pies, since we already know about the dough, I kind of want to know about like more of the concept, slow co. And I'm guessing that has something to do with like taking your time, you know, not rushing it, being extremely focused, but also like, you know, maybe there's a seasonality play because like you can't get radicchio all throughout the year. So it's like, chill the fuck out. We're not going to do radicchio today. We're going to do whatever's available in the summer.
Yeah.
Is that all kind of coming together and under the name?
For sure, yeah. You kind of hit the nail on the head there.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you have more to add.
No. That's, I mean, I don't have like a romantic story. Originally, I had this idea of calling this place Slow Dough for years and years. And we went through the process, the branding and this, that, the other. And a friend of mine, he is a trademark lawyer and said, let's check this out before you get any further. And Slow Dough is trademarked in Houston, Texas at a bakery. So we really wanted to keep the little snail guy in our slow, and so we just came up with Slow Co. But it is all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, the dough too takes time for sure.
Yeah.
Because you have a 2-day process on the dough, but also you're feeding a sourdough starter, which takes time. You can't just throw a bunch of yeast in it and it's ready the day of.
Right.
Okay.
We've kind of honed in our sourdough starter where we're not feeding every day, twice a day, watching it do all these things. We use the refrigeration in our to our benefit. Cool. So I'll feed it. I fed it after I did a mix today. Fed it, got it going, popped it away, and we can use that tomorrow. We can use it the next day. It really slows it down, Slow Co. And it allows you, it's still active, it's still live.
Yeah,
It's hungry. When it's hungry, it's gonna grow.
Yeah. And what do we got here?
This is just some cream, some heavy cream. This is for our white base.
Okay.
So we lay a little bit down like that. And then this is kind of our white base for all our white pizzas. We do a little bit of the Parmesan and then some of the mozzarella here. And this is our white base.
Nice. And this is for the living on the veg?
This is for the living on the veg.
Cool.
And then for the veg part of that, we have some delicata squash and some fresh radicchio here, different varieties in here.
Pretty.
Thanks. And then we hit it with a little olive oil and some more of this Parmesan.
And talk to me about where you got this method from.
So, big fan of Sarah Minnick at Lovely's 50/50.
Shout out.
And I know they do this for all of their vegetable pizzas.
Yeah.
Super smart.
Super
It
simple.
seasons everything really well.
Yep.
And it's just treating all these ingredients with respect.
I see your. Are you intentional about where you place certain things, or is it kind of just because it looked like it was a little intentional?
Yes, so I'm intentional with what went down first.
There. Okay.
So I don't want the radicchio on top because it'll burn too quickly. And then,
Squash takes a little bit longer to cook.
yep, so then, and then this delicata does cook really nicely.
Okay.
And then I'll just grab some fresh mozz here.
Damn.
Do little dollops on here.
Okay.
Well, white pies tend to,
Be dry pies.
they can be.
My boy.
I feel like I heard that somewhere.
I think I heard some cool guy on the internet say it.
So that's the build on that one. I'll just launch that and then we can build the other one. And sometimes I will fix it a little, but you saw how it came out. All right, and now we'll go Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Express.
Uh-huh.
It's our sausage pizza.
Nice.
We were just coming up with weird, silly names.
Is this the 2-ounce ladle?
Yeah.
Cool. 2-ounce ladle of sauce, handful or so of cheese.
Yeah, so I'll actually lay a little layer of this down too, kind of how we did on the other red
Nice.
pie. And then we have shaved fennel, kind of plays with the fennel sausage.
Is it marinating or is that?
No, it's just, yeah, we rinsed it and washed it and then some sliced shallot. I'm going in this order because we'll add sausage last because I don't want people grabbing sausage and then grabbing all the vegetables and all the cheese and
Makes
all that.
sense. But your sausage is par cooked, right?
Yeah, it's cooked.
Okay, so you just don't want the vegetarian pies to be affected.
I don't know, something about touching meat and then touching other stuff
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
You gotta wash your hands when you touch your meat, you know?
Yeah.
And then this is that fresh mozz.
Fresh mozz, yep.
It's such a pretty pizza, those colors, man.
Appreciate that. And then yeah, fennel sausage. We get it. The meat, the ground pork from Sonoma County Meat Company up in Santa Rosa, which is the next town up. And then we just bring it in here, season it up.
You are not shy with that.
No, but honestly, that's probably like 2.5 ounces. It's not a lot for these pizzas, and it allows us to kind of keep the costs down on the menu and
Yeah.
quality up.
Yeah,
for sure. We're not-
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, we're not trying to
Make
gouge
quick buck.
anybody,
Yeah.
and I'm also not trying to put too much on the pizzas to weigh it down.
I like that little technique that you got of shaking off the excess flour.
Yeah, it helps especially during service so we don't have to sweep as much, and then it keeps the bottoms a little clean.
Yeah, I don't do that as a habit whenever I make pizza. My floors are always so dirty, so I'll try to do better at that.
It is helpful. I feel like I cook on some unis too at my house. For some reason, it is harder to keep those ones clean than
We don't
just
have
like
a mantle
this.
like you do.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You could tap the bottom like this, like the pizza's on here, and you just do some taps.
For sure. Okay, so while we're waiting for these pizzas to cook, keep monitoring it. I do have a question for you about like this beautiful design. What went into it? Because I imagine, it didn't just like pop up into your head overnight.
So my wife kind of took the reins on that, and she kind of picked out the sconces, the wood paneling, and she envisioned it in her head. She's not a designer or anything, and she was very stressed out about it all. But she kind of had these ideas and ran it by me, and we all collaborated on it, and my business partner as well, Danny, and certain things we couldn't do, certain things got vetoed, but mostly it was my wife. Just from our experiences of eating out at restaurants and stuff and things that she's liked and wanted to bring to the table here.
It's clean. I really, really, really just want to commend you all because it's a beautiful space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
When it comes to the actual location, I know offline or just on audio, we were talking about like your family buying the space. Can I say that?
Yeah, the property.
The property, right? And so like, were you looking in Katati, or what were you looking for in terms of, did this just happen to pop up and you're like,
Yeah, we were looking in Petaluma to open a business, and we looked at other spaces that it's the traditional, you pay 6 figures for their failing business. You're basically buying the lease, and then you got to do all this work. Nothing really spoke to us, and then we saw this property for sale, like the whole property, and I kind of approached family about the potential of investing, I guess.
invest in real estate and invest in you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you fail, at the end of the day, they still have real estate? No, I'm just kidding.
True.
Right?
I mean, that was part of the pitch.
I mean, yeah, especially in California, you buy a place like this, as long as the downtown area doesn't go to shit, which
Yeah.
I doubt it will, because Katati is a beautiful, nice little town.
Sonoma State College is right down the street.
Perfect. Your money's pretty much locked in. And if you can have a good operator out of it, you can raise the rents eventually because you're bringing up the neighborhood.
True. And yeah, that's a big part of what we want to do. Katati, specifically, not trying to throw any shade, doesn't have any like kind of fun, poppin' restaurants.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted to be a part of the community. And
You heard that, Acre Pizza?
Sorry, Steve. Steve's been in here. But that's on the outskirts, I'm talking about like the downtown right here.
Fair. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking that when we were gonna get here, that I was gonna see like a bunch of like dispensaries and like ranches, but no, like we're in the heart of things.
Well, Acre's right next to a dispensary.
Right, that's
I don't know if that was a strategy or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to be part of a growing community and part of the food scene here,
I love that.
where we could stand out and not fit in. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a big thing.
Cool.
And then the yard.
And the yard is
Yeah.
so sexy. We need
Yeah.
to make sure we get that because summers here are gonna be so poppin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to us about the vision of the yard.
The yard, we're just trying to have families hang out there. I got 2 young kids. We were always looking for places where the kids can run around and we can actually sit and enjoy a meal without worrying about them. So there's a big grass area for games and kids and picnic tables out there. We could do like acoustic music out there. It's got a ton of potential. Yeah.
What I love about like Slow Co and also in the name is like you talked to me earlier about like having a work-life balance, being able to spend time with your kids, and that's the opposite of the go, grind it out, right?
Yeah.
Like slow down, live life, make some good pizza, spend some time with the family, have a good business that you can run.
Yeah.
I feel like the name is brilliant and like that whole concept I love.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that.
How's this pizza doing?
It's done.
It's done?
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk too much and then burn it. Woo!
So I tell all the pizza cooks, and there's only a couple of us, because space is limited,
Yeah.
we always pull everything out with this, just because like if you're
You don't
walking
cross
by
it
with,
over?
or just like knock you in the face.
Yeah, don't want that.
But yeah, here's the living on the veg.
That smells so good. Everything is fuming right now in a positive way.
And throughout the shift when we're like doing service, the dough bakes differently. Sometimes the oven's running a little bit hotter. So it's all, you don't know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be good. And it's all, naturally leavened and stuff. So
I like it.
if you shape it or if I shape it, it'll actually bake out different.
Right.
So there's all those little variables too that are interesting to watch unfold.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're not super hard on yourself if one of them comes out a little oblong or this one has too many chars. And I think that's a huge relief when it comes to making pizza because you can kind of just like do a little bit of a soul bake is what I call.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
How you're feeling that day,
Totally.
run with it.
Yeah. So you see we didn't get too much char on the radicchio, which is nice because it's already bitter normally. Hogwarts, fennel sausage, and fennel. So we add a little fennel pollen on the finish.
That I got introduced to recently too. I love it.
It's nice.
Yeah. It like trips you out for the first time because you're eating it and you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, this is delicious and you can just forage this shit for free.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This one gets a little more of that spicy honey, the Calabrian.
Love it.
This one gets a little salt.
Malden?
Yeah, this one's Malden. There's a couple local salt producers here, but one step at a time.
Yeah. And what was that you just sprinkled on?
Black pepper.
Black pepper.
Yeah.
Yum.
And then this gets the cheese too. And these both get some greenage to really finish it off.
I think black pepper on top of pizza is so underrated.
Yeah, I really like it with the white pies.
Not enough people do it, I would say.
We were running a potato leek pizza for a while, and black pepper and potato, I don't know, it just makes sense. And this is gremolata with like Meyer lemon peel, rosemary, and parsley and garlic.
I'm like extremely wet right now. This is like, this is my type of shit. Like when I go out to eat, this is the kind of pizza I want to spend my money on because it's not something that I can get every day. You know,
Right.
A lot of people used to ask me like, where do you go out to eat in San Jose? And I'd be like, I don't, because I'll make my own shit. Like if I'm gonna spend money on food, I want to try something different, something new. And no offense to all the pizza makers, but kind of what we were talking about earlier is it's like everyone does a very similar pizza in terms of topping combinations. No one's really sticking out.
And so that, I just finished it with fennel fronds.
Yummy.
We're just trying to use all the product that we can get and not
Such
waste
beautiful
anything.
color. Wow, I'm impressed, man. What are we trying first?
That's up to you.
I'm gonna do this one. Look at that.
Living on the veg.
Living on the veg. Shout out to the haters who did not like this pizza. Man, I like that it has a good little handlebar. You gonna have one?
Yeah, of course. We were closed yesterday. We didn't have any pizza.
Ah. Full. You can really, like, there are a million toppings on this, but you can taste them all. No offense, like, I hope. But, like, you don't shy away from the toppings, and yet they all still come together in a lovely way. Great job. Yeah, great job.
We try not to put pre-bake more than like 3 or 4 toppings on it. And then post-bake, we can kind of be more playful with it.
You know what's coming next. You've listened to the show. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for everything. It's been great knowing you, learning about your journey even more today, and spending the time to talk with me and make pizza. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
As I like to end this show, there's no right or wrong answer. Let the camera know what's good though.
Oh, nice. There it is. Thought about this for a little bit, but honestly, like without podcasts like yours, I don't think I would have had the confidence or the knowledge to open up my own spot. So hearing you interview other people and hearing their stories, taking little nuggets away from it all, kind of was that little push factor for me to kind of take the leap for myself. And that's what's good though, and I really appreciate that and what you bring to the pizza community. So there you go.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Congrats. Great work. Wishing you all the success.
Yeah, thank you.